Hello, my name's Russ Dodge. In just a few moments, we're going to share with you some memories of Vineland Speedway. Memories that began 50 years ago when I first attended the races. Through the generosity of so many people who have donated films, photos, and other pieces of racing memorabilia, this presentation is made possible. If you were there, we hope we're going to ignite some fine memories for you. And if you weren't that lucky, we hope that you'll gain an understanding as to the role Vineland Speedway played in the lives of so many. It's a beautiful spring day as we head down Delsey Drive, checking out the sights from the back window of our station wagon on our way to the opening show of the 1961 racing season at Vineland Speedway. It should be a great day for racing as the Speedway starts its 7th season of operation. As we turn into the entrance marked by the sign with a Henry J on top, we will then continue down the entrance road to the ticket booth. On the left you see the pit sign-in lane, separated to allow the competitors access to the pit sign-in booth. Hey, there's Elton Hilder's orange and black pickup. Great. Elton won 13 features here last season. Look, that's Tommy Elliott walking to get in line. I hope he's in the purple Ford today. After the drivers and necessary pit crew members sign and get their pit passes, they're ready to move into the active pit area. We've got to stop at one of those booths to get our ticket. From our position above Delsey Drive, Route 47, we are looking west at the Speedway, with Sherman Avenue to our right. Note there is nothing but wooded land completely around the Speedway complex. This was before the manufactured housing development between Delsey Drive and the Speedway existed, and also Cumberland County College and Route 55 was constructed. An original poster for the opening show at Vineland Speedway. The date, Sunday, April 3rd, 1955. The main entrance to the Speedway, marked by this sign, would be located in the middle of College Drive at Delsey Drive intersection if it were standing today. The sign with its Henry J on top became an icon for the Vineland Speedway and remained intact several years after the Speedway closed. Arriving in the spectator parking lot, the back of the grandstands would be to your right. This lot would be filled to capacity for the opening event. Crowd estimates of over 10,000 were reported for that day. The official opening of the facility brought out the following dignitaries: Mayor John Gattone, second from the left facing the camera; Stan Grasso, Charles Nocco, track president, Judge George Stanger, and Senator W. Howard Sharp. Note the crowded grandstand behind the fence and the formal dress of many of the spectators. With the opening ceremonies completed, the cars were lined up for the first race ever to be run at the Speedway. The winner of this first qualifying heat race was Paul Walker, from Milton, Delaware. The following week, he would win the main feature event. However, the feature event on opening day was won by local rising star from Atco, New Jersey, Al Tasnady, driving the red number 44 owned by Vineland businessmen Romeo Gelsey and Toots Armelini. Taken after the races, this photo shows Tony Caccaro on the left, then Toots Armelini, Romeo Gelsey, Al Tasnady, and Bill Nocco on the right. Al Tasnady, simply referred to as Taz the remainder of his career, would continue to dominate this opening season by winning 12 feature events. Make sure you check out the people in the background for friends and relatives. The red car Taz drove to those many wins carried the number 44. Of note, Ken Marriott of Baltimore, Maryland, who was second on the winners list with 6 feature events, drove a bronze race car carrying the number 44 also. This is 1955 and we're looking at racing action at the new Vineland Speedway. There's the Morgan Body Shop Flying Zero on the back straightaway. That's Otto Harwey in the 999 pushing the 6-cylinder Clifford Special number 35, getting it started in the infield. Notice that the pits are located in the infield this opening year of the track. When the trees are removed for building the speedway, hey, there's Jackie McLaughlin. We have to interrupt. Jackie is becoming one of the rising stars. There he is with his lucky checkered shirt. Anyway, they found there was a sugar sand base over the entire property, so they had to put 6 inches of gravel to build up the sub-base before they could start construction of the speedway. The clay was brought in from the Jesse Morey Company's Clayville Switch, and that is what was used to make the racing surface. In that opening year, the announcer's booth, oh, by the way, that's Harry Reeves. He was the president of the Interstate Stock Car Racing Association and the Vineland Flagger. To get back to the infield, it was filled with the pits and the scorer's tower, which was a block structure where the announcer and the track scorers could officiate and take care of the races. Before the start of the 1956 racing season, this structure and the pits were moved outside of the oval to allow spectators to have better visibility. Check out the first turn. There are the freebies up on the hill, and it didn't take promoter Bill Nocco too long before he placed a corrugated sheet metal wall to block their visibility. However, for those who could climb, they always managed to see the show somehow for nothing. Again, this is the opening year, 1955. There's Al Tasnady in the winning number 44 coupe. Otto Harwey in the Sonny Dornberger 999. This was the 4th of July, 1955. It was a scorcher of a day for racing at Vineland. As you can tell by the dust, and you can see umbrellas blocking the sun for some of the spectators, trying to stay cool as they watch the hot racing action during this holiday show. Here are some more cars. That number 4 sedan is owned by Jimmy Pagnum and Tony Roberti. The blue 4 with a red trim. Tony Roberti would continue to field cars for the entire decade that Vineland Speedway operated. Again, we are looking at the first turn. You can see the surface is sort of breaking up, and after a bit, it starts laying down black rubber, developing a groove through the center. That's the 72 of Haig Avakian and Don Battolini. There's Ken Marriott in the 44, Jim Delaney in the 25A, and possibly Rags Carter driving the 119 of Pete Marcacci. Bill Wilson in the 95A, and Taz again in the 44. That's Al Tasnady in the 44 coming into the turn. There he is on the outside of Steve Elias. They run side by side through that first turn. The 72 car is out of Dom Battolini's garage. We'll see more shots on it later. Needless to say, dust was a problem on the dirt at Vineland, particularly the first 2 years, 1955 and 56. The races at Vineland were under the sanction of the Interstate Stock Car Racing Association. As the track evolved, so did the field of competitors. There weren't professional drivers at this time. Some of the drivers, with few exceptions, never raced anywhere else outside of South Jersey. Steve Elias earned a modified championship at Alcyon Speedway in Pittman 2 years before Vineland Speedway opened, and would compete at Vineland during its decade of operation, earning several sportsman titles at the Speedway. Dave Watson poses with the Dom Battolini Hagovakian number 72 Sportsman. Bill Hill from Woodbury came to Vineland with experience gained at other South Jersey speedways. Bridgeton's Jimmy Marks had trouble nailing down a feature win at Vineland, but did so at least at 2 other speedways. Chris Dawson is shown with Stan Morgan's Flying Zero. Morgan fielded his yellow and red coupes the first 2 years that the Speedway operated. Here, Andy Sarcletti is shown with a Morgan Body Shop Flying Zero. Ray Burris is shown with a red number 43. Burris, while all not related, was a name synonymous with racing at Vineland. Bill Burris provided records for the Speedway for years. Dick Wershen, with the number 96, drove Neil Williams' very first 717, prior to Elton Hildreth. Jackie Lynch flashes a winning smile as he holds the checkered flag with a Sportsman car 1 Junior. A debonair Bill McCourt drove the Bianco Brothers Body Shop number 1 on dirt at Vineland. Later he would drive the 16J before the famous wildman Elton Hildreth took the wheel. Pictured is Johnny Flake, who drove Dave Anderson's car shown in this photo, and also Joe Table's 1 Senior, which will be seen later. This late model stock car racing action was filmed on May 6, 1956. This 50-lap event was tied into a Sunday afternoon of modified sportsman racing. That red number 1 that just went by was Elton Hildreth in his famous Jersey Devil Nash, which he ran in late model competition that season. Jim Delaney from Hope, New Jersey won the feature event. It was the white 55 Chevy number 25A. Hildreth was second, and Al Tasnady third in the black and white 56 Ford number 44. Adding to the obvious dust problem of the day was a complete regular show of stock car racing. The feature event was won by Bill Hill, followed by Jimmy Marks and Al Tasnady third. This late model race was not a NASCAR event. However, the NASCAR short track late models would run at Vineland in 1961, with champion Jim Reed winning. The late model stocks were just that, stock cars complete with interiors, less the back seats, and the addition of a roll bar. There's the checkered flag as Al Tasnady comes to a stop after finishing third on 3 wheels. Jim Delaney receives the winner's trophy for his afternoon drive. While the majority of the cars that competed in the opening season returned for 1956, a new car appeared for competition. The Case Farm Equipment 300, shown here with driver Jackie McLaughlin. Spurred by the success of the 44 owned by Toots Armelini and Romeo Gelsi, another group of Vinelanders of Italian descent, which included Joe Bastizzi, Pete Crescitelli, and others, decided to slip to Baltimore and buy the bronze 44 driven by Ken Marriott to many wins in 1955. They repainted the car Case tractor colors out of orange and cream